All right, so this is all about the delves. They just got changed, and this is possibly for the worst. I don't know what to say, chat. I don't know what to say. We've recently been trying to get into doing delves, and I want to say that yesterday was rough.
What's up, adventurers, and welcome
So
to
let's see what we can find out what's going on.
Delves and the changes that have come to Delves and the community's response to Delves. A lot of the changes have been abrupt, but for those of you who don't know, Tank Bran has been substantially nerfed based on data and feedback in order to encourage diversity in Bran usage, including making him take 60% increased damage. Blizzard, I can do the damage myself. I just need Bran to stay alive for 10 seconds. It feels like they saw that he was really tanky with solo healers, so they nerfed him without a second thought of how gimped he's going to be for solo DPS players. I honestly feel like this is not necessarily the DPS aspect, but this has always been the case for tanking Bran. Now, for those of you who tank and use Bran as a healer, it's easy. It's always
You know what? I use Bran as a healer, and yet he still always is falling on his ass. You know, he's out of the fight for fucking like a minute every time he dies. You take him, you can't take the man anywhere. And this is supposed to be a seasoned delve guy. You know, I don't get it. I don't get it why they just made him. The AI needs to be better. The AI needs to be better. He doesn't use out of. What's going on? What's going on, Woobsy's wife? Yeah, so like he doesn't get out of any of the mechanics, you know. At least when he throws the health pots on the floor, you might be able to get those later on after he's long been dead. But and then doing the delves yesterday, taking the more you know, you invite more people to your party. So we had a max party. Jesus Christ, that was just as hard as doing a 10.
It's been fine. You mostly do it yourself anyways. But when it came to, say, for example, Zekthir and doing the Let Me Solo Him challenge, it became impossible because it wasn't necessarily that his healing was off. He always just died like 2, 3, 4.
He did. He was always dead
4 times. So it just became this thing of like, hey, can you just stay alive for a second? Like, even if you're doing barely anything, just do something, please. Like something out of there. So that was my feeling with it. Okay, so DPS Bran is useless now. Tank Bran is useless. Well, back to healer Bran. Such diversity. So yeah, healer Bran is my Bran has been very diverse. I use the same 2 curios in the same healer spec for all season 1. Now I'm using season 2. I'm using the same 2 curios and 2 the same.
Like I don't even know if I have the proper curios. You know, I'll end up asking you guys here in chat for the right curio build. You know, and that usually that'll help.
Healer spec. It's crazy how DPS Bran is genuinely so terrible, and people finally decided to start using Tank Bran instead of Healer Bran, and they went tisk tisk. No. You can't do that. That's not allowed in this game. You can't have too much fun. That's against the rules. I guess I've never really used Tank Bran to really know the experience. Personally,
I've never used Tank Bran.
I can see how it's the easy mode because you can potentially just rely on him whenever it's solo, and especially because
they said a lot of times too, the Tank Bran is there for mostly the healers that need the help on staying alive. So that's why he had such power.
The biggest issue with Bran from any other perspective is that he dies too fast. So if he has more health and he's easy enough to survive and shorter, then it's totally fine. Why these changes hurt all playstyles? Blizzard, these nerfs to Bran's tank spec make delves more frustrating without fixing real issues. So Bran takes 60% more damage with 20% less health, making him unreliable. Healing potions no longer work on Bran as they did in season 1, removing a key survival tool. Healing spec are
healing specs are punished with a internal cooldown. Hot base damage buffs. Bran's survivability is broken as a non-healer, forcing DPS to use his heal spec as they're very true. Major damage nerfs across the board. Oh my god. Wow.
Punished with 5-second internal cooldown on hot base damage buffs. Bran's survivability is broken as a non-healer, forcing DPS to use his heal spec as the only viable option. To be honest, I honestly don't think this might be a slightly controversial thing, but I don't necessarily think that Bran should be anything other than tank for DPS, and then and just have enough self-sufficiency to heal within that. And then for healers, also tank. The only one that shouldn't be tank is for tanks. And when you're playing tanks, he should just be, I mean, honestly, I would just...
Shit, we went in there. I was tanking. The rest were DPS. I used Bran as a healer. Still couldn't get through the content. We were doing 11s. We were doing 11s, but they felt like 15s. It just... I don't know what to say. It was very frustrating.
Just say, I would honestly just say DPS. That's what I would want. More than healer. Honestly, I have enough self-sufficiency as a tank to do it on my own. I just need someone really pumping damage. That's what I need more than anything else.
So yeah, they got to work on the AI when he's supposed to be moving. You make him move like a real character moves. I mean, he doesn't seem to avoid very much of the mechanics at all.
And that would be great. Maybe interrupts, etc.
That would be cool.
So if he could just...
I think he does do a couple. I think he does do an interrupt here or there when you have him around. Like I'm curious because when I have him as a healer, he still has 2 pets. So he's a hunter, still has the 2 pets, and yet he's throwing out the healing potions.
Like a hybrid spec. Just be all 3. Don't require me to choose. Maybe that would be the thing. So the next one that I wanted to talk about, it says, I understand the damage nerf, but making tank Bran 60% more damage is one of the worst decisions I ever saw. Oh wait, making tank Bran take 60% more damage. I was like, wait. It does 60%. Used to do delves solo with my lock as tank. And he was great to begin with, but now he gets the job, and he got the job done. Now he dies in like 10 seconds and he's completely useless. Blizzard detected fun and had it nerfed ASAP. Don't stand there. Proceeds to stand there after telling us not to and dies.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Zephyr in a nutshell. Dude, there's
Don't
no frontal
stay on there.
I was in it for 0.5 seconds. You're standing in it. You're dying in there. B Bran, sit on potion cooldown. Player dies because mob white damage insane potion stacks fell off. Reds, talk about having a plan for next attempt. My face when I have no face. Next pull, stands in fire, kills self. Player uses invuln. The res throws potions in fire. Player dies because he cannot grab potions and stacks fall off. Let's use some harder hitting moves.
Can you? This is something I've never tried, but can you battle res Bran?
Yeah, that's rough. Honestly, I feel like what often happens, for the most part, is you get to a stage where Bran's usage in a delve is so negligible where he only exists so you could kind of be lazier in delves. You don't avoid any circles, you don't avoid any damage. You're just all right, I'm just gonna stand in everything. It doesn't really matter, because it gets to a point where otherwise it's not really providing you any outside benefits other than slightly better damage on the overall delve. For the most part, if you're soloing as any tank, you should be able to clear most delves in less than 10 minutes, tier 11s, and really,
I've never tried to do a complete delve as a tank by myself. I might have to do that experiment. I might have to give that a go. 10 minutes to get through the whole thing. I don't think that's possible, because I try to clear the whole place. I'm looking to try and get the most XP I can for Bran, only probably to have him die that fast still, which is just horrible.
Need any of Bran's heals. It's just that every once in a while, whenever damage spikes, it's nice to have one save in there. So it's really not that I need Bran. I need him for utility more than anything else, and interrupt here and there. But I really haven't come across anything where I've been like, oh well, yeah, Bran was the saving grace here. So I didn't really experience that myself. Per se.
Yeah, Bran's never been the healing grace for me.
I think it affects the majority of players. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of players who aren't affected by this, because only a small portion are actually tanks. Some may play tankier classes, but that's the case. At a 645 Mistweaver, he instantly dies, but I can basically solo everything until he revives. Then he just gets one shot again. Not sure if I'm Giga bad or if he's just running into everything. Honestly, just put me on /follow. That's what I need Bran to do, to be honest. So it's funny, as a healer, I feel the opposite. The 60% more damage nerf hasn't felt too bad. I've gone from keeping Bran at 90 to 100% HP purely from passive heals, not to now needing to cast occasional healing surge and even to use healing cooldowns on bad pools. But making him do less DPS isn't making delves harder, just more of a slog, especially since having to direct heal Bran more means that I have less time to be DPSing myself. Yes. So, I mean, what is the solution to this? There's a version of things, I think, where you make it to where tank Bran has to be healed like it would be in a dungeon. Like, you have to actively heal him. That's all you can focus on. I think that works as long as you make his DPS match that of having like a full DPS in a group. You know, he's a tank and DPS. He's sort of a hybrid in that way, where he's just pumping for sure. You know, he's like full on prop pally, like getting all that damage for sure. I could see that being the case. The other alternative is with like other classes, say if you have them as healer Bran, like I would, to have it to where your self-sufficiency is maybe nerfed within a delve. I don't know if, because I mean, it would seem to put it would put it unfairly on a tank in my eyes if you just made it so hard that you had to use like tank busters in there just to survive.
Yeah, you know what? Basically, everything he's talking about in this is just all, you know, with the changes. With the changes, it's quite unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's one of those things where they're making it to the point where delves are going to be someplace where nobody's going to be wanting to play. Nobody's going to want to do the delves, you know, unless, I mean, the sweats will in week 1. But if you're trying to get your third pillar, which is delves, to be evergreen content, then I think that you're going to have to try and make sure that the content is going to be sufficient and doable by those people that you believe are the majority of the community, you know, of your subscriber base. You want to try and make sure that they're going to be able to do the content and not be frustrated with the lack of completions. Now, will they always be wanting to do 11s? I think they will, you know, because that's where because we watched another video not too much earlier, where if you're trying to be solo player and get some of the best gear, let's say you're only doing your 3 or 4 delves at an 11 to be able to get your 21 gilded crest, then you're going to want to be able to do an 11. Now, if you're going in there by yourself, you might have a better chance than if you're going in there with, you know, all jacked crew, because we have good gear, we have good skill, and we couldn't do very many. I mean, it got so bad. I think it was in an excavation site 9 that I was like, okay, I'm done. Was it that one, Neo? It was something like that. So I was like, okay, maybe take a break. Maybe I'm having a bad day. You know, I work, you know, 10 to 12 hours a day. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe my focus, my back is hurt. You know, it could be any number of reasons. But then multiply that through all the players in your player base who might be not in the best health, who might not have great skill cap, who might not be playing meta. I don't know. There's any number of reasons. So think about that. And, you know, most of the times I want to hear from you, your comments, everybody. How are you enjoying the delves? Are you doing them? Are you using delves to help supplement your crest? So your gilded crest, that is, or even your gear? Or are you just doing it to level up your brand? Do you do it as fun content? Do you not do them at all? I mean, they need to work on the brand AI. You know, as a matter of fact, I think Neil said he was trying to do a follower dungeon, and it was hard because they were not doing shit. So let me know down in the comments. I'll link this video down below, but he was just going through comments, and I don't want to wait through all of that. I just want the glimpse of it. I'd never watched this video before, but I'll give it a thumbs up, you know, and then we'll find out where we go from here, because I want to continue to do delves and enjoy the world a little bit more this patch, to see if I could buy in, like in my last video, because they gave us the updates for the housing. One of the comments in that was, what is the benefit for having this? And to me, the benefit of having it is for everybody that wants a little bit of immersion, to say something that it's theirs. You know, let me know what you guys think about that, and we'll go from there. I don't know myself. Truly don't know.